I now go on to the closing speeches, and I call on Alec Rowley to close for Labour. 6 minutes, please, Mr Rowley.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. I'm pleased to close the debate for Labour today, and would also like to extend a welcome to Social Enterprise World Forum as it comes to Scotland this year. I would also wish the Cabinet Secretary the very best in her new role. As James Kelly said, Scotland is an excellent choice to host this gathering, as we have an array of world-class social enterprises operating throughout the country. That includes my home area of Fife. Fife Social Enterprise Network was actually the first local social enterprise network to start up. The first meeting took place in 2004 at Furniture Plus in Dysart, and they continue to hold regular meetings. There are over 160 social enterprises in operation across Fife, and they have a total income in excess of £26 million. In Clackmannanshire, Stirling and across mid-Scotland and Fife, social enterprise play an important part in our daily life. Both Willie Rennie and Bruce Crawford highlighted some of those. As the motion notes, and as the Cabinet Secretary said, the inaugural World Forum event took place here in Edinburgh 10 years ago, so it is only fitting that the 10th anniversary of this event, one that will bring delegates from all over the world together, once again returns to Scotland. Social Enterprise Scotland has stated the purpose of the World Forum is for social enterprise leaders, practitioners and supporters from all over the world to come together to share the knowledge, build networks and discuss practical ways to build a more sustainable economy. This comes at a time when more and more people are realising that the current way our economy and society works is not fair and is not set up to deliver in the interests of the many. So this gathering is certainly something which we should welcome, celebrate and encourage more of, especially given the fact that social enterprises play such a vital role in our communities and also significantly contribute to our economy as a whole. I would also want to add to what Monica Lennon said and focus on the social good of many local social enterprises working at the community level, providing many high-quality social services from care for the elderly, transport to supporting people into employment, and often the last line of defence against some of the deep-rooted poverty and deprivation that exists in far too many communities across Scotland. In focusing on this area of work, I would have to say that many organisations have also felt the impact of failed austerity and cuts to the public services, but there is also, I believe, a missed opportunity to grow this sector, as John Mason touched on. Community planning partnerships were meant to work in such a way that they brought all the key players together and focused all of the resources on achieving the outcomes set by the partnerships. I believe much more needs to be done to ensure the ability and effectiveness of social enterprises to reach communities and achieve the strategic policy objectives of government is recognised. On top of the economic and social importance, many social enterprises are also leading the way in creating progressive, fair and equal workplaces, the kind we need to see more of in Scotland. This was highlighted by Patrick Harvey. 70% of Scotland's social enterprises are led by and accountable to people in their local communities. 64% are led by women. 72% pay all employees the real living wage. And further to this, they also have a smaller wage gap between the highest and the lowest paid in their organisations, something that many of our large organisations, both in the private and public sector, could learn from. It can at times be difficult to define what a social enterprise actually is, but at its core, a social enterprise is a more ethical, dynamic and independent way to do business. As Daniel Johnson pointed out, it is a business with social objectives whose surpluses are reinvested for the purpose, either in the business itself or with the community, rather than being driven to maximise return for shareholders and owners. Organisations like this have such an important role to play, especially with the current climate of ideologically driven austerity, as a number of speakers have highlighted. And it is fortunate that there are organisations out there trying their best to mitigate against some of the worst effects of the rise of austerity we have seen over these last few years. Dean Lockhart talked about the need for more investment, but this is a contradiction to his and the Scottish Tories' support for austerity. We need a rethink when it comes to Tory party and its zealous austerity agenda continuing to chip away at our public services and their ability to invest in areas like in social enterprise. Tom Arthur made the point that he did not want to make this about politics. But I say when we are debating the importance of social enterprise, it is crucial to highlight the negative impact of failed Tory austerity, for you will not create a better society whilst promoting inequality through austerity, and you will not grow a dynamic community-led social enterprise approach against a backdrop of deep-rooted cuts. The speeches today all recognise the massive potential of growing this sector of our economy. We need to follow that up with resources and investment, and that means an end to austerity and recognition for the need for investment and growth right across Scotland.